NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Perfect for race fans. Road America, the site of today's 23rd NASCAR Xfinity Series race, and the playoffs have been pretty well set, with a possibility, though, of an upset. If Greg Galding, Jeremy Clements can do something about that, Dale Jarrett, could be interesting today.
Well, it certainly could shake up the bubble there, but, you know, when we look at the playoff drivers that we have, at what they can get done, just adding points to their totals.
Yep, could be an all-out brawl for those guys up front. And then what about the Matt DiBenedetto factor? He's in a fast race car. He's an experienced Cup driver. Yeah,
he is. He has a lot of experience. He's done well in the 2 Cup races on the road courses, so he's going to be a factor in this race today. Will it make any difference? He's become such a big name. The debates out there is whether he should have a ride, what ride should he get, but this isn't going to have any effect on that, really. He's already set the stage. He's shown everyone he has the skills to be a stock car driver, a professional driver at the Cup level, but this is not going to make any difference. I think he just relaxes, but he's got a bigger fan base now, so he's got a lot more people that he's going to try to make happy here this afternoon.
He could make himself happy by navigating the Road America 4 miles expertly. Dale, take us around.
Oh, yeah, this is a long way around this. You can see there's 14 corners, but down here in turn 1, especially the start of the race and the restarts, very exciting part. 2 and 3 wide sometimes through here, and gets very, very exciting. We see a lot of accidents there. Turn 5, one of the highest speed parts of the track. A lot of braking coming in here, all the way down to first gear through here, but we've seen a lot of action through here also, so a lot of fun to watch. Here turn 8, you're setting up for the carousel, so getting through here, utmost importance, because you're coming to one of the fastest part of the tracks as you go around 8, 9, 10, 11 over to the kink, and then turn 12, Canada corner, we'll see a lot of brake lockup right here, even though you've got to get through this right-hander to set up getting over to 13 and 14 to come back to the start-finish line.
And, of course, that turn 14, oh so critical. That gets you rolling back up the hill and toward the finish line. Hopefully you're in front. Let's take a look at the starting grid, how they'll line up today. We've already mentioned A.J. Allmendinger on the pole again at Road America.
Yeah, and his good friend Matt DiBenedetto right there with him. So a lot of fun on the start of this, but 2 very competitive drivers.
Austin Cindric going for 3 in a row, and Cole Custer, a couple of top 10s already on the road courses this year.
In row 3, you see Noah Gragson, who's been on and off the track a lot, but getting everything out of his car, and Tyler Reddick, always fun to watch.
Row 4 today at Road America will include Justin Haley, pretty good in his young NASCAR Series career, and Justin Allgaier, multi-time winner on the road courses.
In row 5, Jeremy Clements, that win here a couple of years ago, he'd like to do that once again. Chase Briscoe has a win on a road course, the Roval, last year at Charlotte.
One earlier this year at Iowa as well. Kaz Grala, experienced road racer, and Christopher Bell, little trouble in qualifying, always fast in the 20 car. And DJ, as we continue to look down through the grid here this afternoon, we see some drivers with more experience, some drivers with less experience. But remember how we started the Countdown to Green show? You can make a lot of ground here by simply being smart, can't you?
Yeah, being smart and keeping your race car on the asphalt. That might seem simple and rather easy to do, but it's very, very difficult because there's a lot of shifting that takes place. And we've got a lot of good road racers in this that's going to make this a very competitive afternoon.
38 drivers took time today. No one had to go home. 38 drivers will start the race. And working our way back, a couple of drivers you may not be familiar with. Josh Bilicki, a local favorite from Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, has a very strong 93 car today. Nick Hammonds from right here in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, won a video game series earlier in his career to get his first ride here. Of course, J.J. Yaley, the veteran, and Ray Black Jr. from Florida will round out row 15. And then David Starr and Joey Gase in row 16. DJ, one thing we noticed while they're making these pace laps here, it's a long way around Road America. You got a lot of time to think.
Yeah, a lot of time to think about what you might need, what to do, the strategies you might want to play out. So a lot going on in these drivers' minds as they get ready for this. You know, the stages are really short here with just 10 laps apiece. So a lot of thinking going into exactly what we have to do and what we want to do. But you have to be aggressive. And again, make sure that you're staying on track because that ends up giving you a good finish at the end of the day or a chance to win.
Let's break down this race just a little bit further. Xfinity Series at Road America, it will involve 4 miles, of course, but only 45 laps. Those are long laps.
Yeah, very long laps, well over 2 minutes for each one of them. You see stage 1, 10 laps, stage 2, 10 laps again. Then we'll go to the final stage where there's 25 laps. Your pit window somewhere 17, 19, 20 laps somewhere in there. Could see somebody try to stretch this and get a win.
A variety of strategies. employed on the road course. We always see it that way. We'll see who gets it right today. When we come back, we'll hear from Pit Road, final thoughts from Parker and Heather, and we'll go green flag racing in Wisconsin.
He's going to try. How about that?
Oh, man.
The first name on the winner's trophy of Road America will be Carl Edwards.
Yep,
Is he?
he's out.
Oh, my goodness.
That's all.
Justin Allgaier's out of fuel.
Now they're saying Reed Sorensen's the winner.
NASCAR has made the call for Reed Sorensen to go to victory lane. Nelson Piquet Jr., 30-18. Michael McDowell. Nelson Piquet Jr. wins in Wisconsin. Muscling through for the lead as we come back to Road America. A.J. Allmendinger, the checkered flag, and the win. Brandon Gaughan looking inside. Checkered flag is out. It's here. Brandon Gaughan has won the NASCAR Nationwide Series race.
Puts the bumper to the back of the 33. Paul Menard's able to hold him off.
As he comes to the line and will score the win. Paul Menard wins at his home track of Road America.
Brandon Gaughan needs to hang with him if he can. Michael McDowell doing a great job through the carousel right here.
Michael McDowell, a bridesmaid so many times, will be the winner today. And diving down to the inside, Jeremy Clements now contact with Matt Tipp. They both spin. Unbelievable finish for the 51 team and Jeremy Clements.
Little Gator trying to take a bite out of the competition in Wisconsin.
Justin Allgaier going back-to-back on road courses.
9 winners in 9 races must be a tough place. We asked some of the drivers about that.
We do ovals so often. Your mindset is triggered oval, oval, oval. And when you go to a road course, you really have to change that mentality.
You're just shifting and you're hard braking and kind of dancing, and you got to be one with the car.
When you run these road courses, Road America is the one where being efficient with the brake pedal is the most important out of the 3 that we go to in the regular season.
Just getting road course experience from Watkins Glen and Mid-Ohio and getting in the rhythm of shifting and turning right and slowing down for corners, that all should play a factor into getting ready for Road America.
And there it is. That's what they're preparing for as they are on their pace laps, Dale. It sounds like they know in their mind what they want to do, and they are racers, right?
Yeah, they are that, but it's 4 miles long and 14 corners, so a lot goes into this. It's very high-speed, technical road course for these guys today.
Let's hear from Pit Road, starting with Parker. Hey.
Hey, Dave. Well, DJ, you talked about it on the starting grid there, how good of friends A.J. Allmendinger and Matt DiBenedetto are. Well, after they qualified on the front row, I witnessed a very funny interaction as we were walking back to the haulers over here, and it was that they were trying to decide which of them was going to come out on top in this race because they said Matt DiBenedetto is basically desperate for a win at this point in the NASCAR series, and A.J. Allmendinger in a part-time ride has nothing to lose. So which one of those mentalities is going to come out on top? I don't actually know the answer, but all I know is it's going to be fun to watch, Heather.
Definitely, Parker, but one guy who's had a little bit of a rough month of August is the 00 of Cole Custer. His season has really been up and down so far, but they said they're hoping that they can leave the bad luck behind them, especially with the playoffs just around the corner. But one positive note is he has the most success out of the big three on road courses here at Road America. So 2 top 10s for him, including a 4th place finish in 2018. He also had a top 10 at Mid-Ohio and Watkins Glen. He told me that if he can just have a smooth, clean race, that'll be a good day for him and his short horse racing team.
That's right. Yeah, Heather, he failed to finish at Iowa, 29th that day, and then 22nd last week at Bristol Dale after getting caught up in that lap 38 wreck.
Yeah, but it's always interesting to me, Dave, how we look at these things and we go week by week. It's kind of, what have you done for me lately? I mean, the man's won 5 races, but it's the same thing. You know, you have to perform each and every week looking to get back on track.
You see Cole Custer's car there to the right in the 2nd row there, the 00 orange and white today. So keep an eye on that. The yellow 22, unmistakable Austin Cindric. And DJ, along with Austin's skills and what he's done this year, the history of Team Penske and that car on these road courses.
Yeah, they just put together such a good program for their drivers. And, you know, the drivers have great skills on these road courses. And Austin Cindric, you could make a case that he's the best of those, although A.J. Allmendinger, who's starting on the pole, has been in that 22 car before. So they put a good product out there each and every time that they go.
And we noticed that a few cars are rolling to the back of the grid. Dexter Bean had an engine change. They'll have to go back. Several drivers for unapproved adjustments. And, of course, Brandon Jones in the 19. He's already slid back there in the black 19. Yesterday in practice had some trouble going through one of the fastest parts of the racetrack.
Yeah, this is one of the places that the drivers talk, probably the first thing that they talk about when you start analyzing and looking at the track itself. It's called the King. You can see that he got off track just a little bit, kind of overcorrected and came back on the other side and messed this car up quite a bit. They had to go to the backup car, but he got out, had a few laps in the backup car in qualifying today and actually had some pretty decent speed.
The kink has had some wild wrecks over the years. In fact, the track, realizing that, put some safer barrier down there on the opposite side of where Brandon Jones hit. 450 feet of safer barrier was put in right there for cars that start to make the corner, Dale, but never actually try to, or complete it. And we can see all the skid marks there.
Yeah, and it's just one of those areas that, yeah, you can make up time here, but it's one of those dangerous spots. If you happen to slip just a little bit, you create more pains and more trouble for yourself than actually what it's worth.
What was the phrase? Don't be a hero there?
That's right.
38 heroes on the track right now, and the crowd getting one last look at them at a slow pace. They'll come up through turn 12 and 13 here. They've already been to Canada Corner and now coming to the final corner. You'll notice as they head toward the start-finish line, 110 feet of elevation change from turn 14 up to the start-finish line. Dale, what does that feel like, or what does that do when you're going through the gears?
Yeah, so the front row and drivers probably in the first 5 or 6 rows are going to be okay. They're going to actually see the green flag come out. From there back, you're actually not up above the hill yet and can actually see it. So it's a little bit of a different look for these drivers. But this is a great field, Dave. I count at least 10 or 11 drivers you could make a great case for that could win here this afternoon.
4 races remain until the 7-race playoff series starts for the Xfinity Series. Can someone upset the apple cart today? Can the big 3 add to their totals, or will one of the part-time drivers walk away with the trophy and the checkered flag today in Wisconsin? We are about to find out as they head to the start-finish line up and over the hill. There it is, and we go green in Wisconsin. A.J. Allmendinger in that black and white 10 car asserting himself early, side by side for second, third, fourth.
You see Matt DiBenedetto gave Austin Cindric a lot of room there, but I think Austin also understood the situation and didn't create any problems out of turn 1 and 2.
This is not the most narrow racetrack on the circuit, but it isn't all that wide either, and you can see going too wide through here in an over 3,000-pound stock car can be a little bit difficult. Braking zone coming up. Who's going to give? Cole Custer in the orange car or Noah Gragson in the silver 9?
Yeah, all the way down to first gear for most of the drivers in this section. You see high braking area. Everybody making it through. It's normally a little bit of contact through there, but great job by everyone.
And the answer to my question was neither. A couple of hard-headed youngsters right there, and they're still that way. Heading down to turn 8. And now Custer clears. Reddick will take a look inside Gregson.
Yeah, no surprise, Tyler Reddick looking to make something happen quickly.
Through the long right-hander, the carousel. And Allmendinger now with about an 8-car length lead over DiBenedetto.
You can see Reddick was able to make that pass and pull him away a little bit from Noah Gregson.
Well, perhaps Noah, with enough off track yesterday, said, you know what, I'm just going to take a little bit easier, listen to Dale Jarrett in the open of the show, and stay on the black for a while.
Well, the thing is these drivers understand that it's 4 miles long, yes, but just 10 laps for this first stage. So you don't want to take yourself out of the race by doing something crazy at this point in time.
Jeremy Clements getting a challenge for 9th there from Christopher Bell. He's going to hang with him there. A couple of white, red, and black cars there.
Yeah, I was really concerned about Christopher Bell. He locked up the brakes twice in the final round of qualifying there. Really slid the front tires. I thought they might even have to change, but in speaking with some of his crew, they said no, that they had examined the tires. They were going to leave them on there. They thought he might have a little vibration, but we're going to kind of take it easy, and he was just going to fill it out and see what he had for these first 10 laps. Then they could get a new set of tires on.
Here's Parker with more on Bell.
Exactly, DJ. That was exactly what the team told me. I went and actually looked at that tire myself. I couldn't see any actual abrasions to or anything, but that team was going to watch these first couple laps very closely to make sure he wasn't locking that tire, that he wasn't abusing it anymore, because they were worried about it, but they knew that you couldn't change it. You only have 3 sets here laying in the pits for this race. If they changed it, they would have been down a set. They weren't going to be given another set by NASCAR, so he just had to tough it out, and so far it's looking all right. Like that left front is not too abused.
Dale described for us a car driving. Oh, hang on one second. Chase Briscoe challenging Casbrala. That's in turn 5. But a car with a tire vibration like that, what's it like to drive?
Yeah, well, it bounced a little bit. It'll get worse, too, with 2 things, under braking and as your speed gets up. So that's whenever you feel that. The other side of it is even though it may not show any signs of that you flat spotted it or something like that, it's not going to turn as well for these first 10 laps. So Christopher Bell's just going to try to manage this as good as he can and then wait and get a new set of good years on it after those 10 laps.
Good battle here, 11th, 12th, 13th. Right where Regan Smith started in the black and green number 8.
Regan's been fun to talk to all weekend. He's really kind of looking at this as lighthearted and going out to have a good time and get what he can out of this race today.
Full seasons and winning seasons with Junior Motorsports. Now, of course, a full-time commentator and part-time racer. Likes to get back behind the wheel when he can, and glad to have worked out this deal with Dale Jr.'s crowd.
You can see somebody got off the track back there in the kink a little bit, kicked up a lot of dust, and that's a little concerning as a driver that may be coming up on that. Not sure what may be sitting there, but they've got generally using 3 or 4 spotters around this track.
It was Noah Gregson, and it's a little bit dicey right there.
Okay, well, we're not surprised about that, and that's nothing against him. The young man's just trying really, really hard, and but there's areas that you can try too hard, as we've talked about on this road course, and find yourself in real trouble.
And of course, as in all of racing, there is speed in extending yourself, Dale, and drivers are looking for it.
Everything you can get.
Just underway at Road America, 3 down of 45. First stage, only 10 laps, but remember the laps are 4 miles long. Glad you could join us today for the CTECH Manufacturing 180 from Road America right here on NBCSN. Getting a good overhead view there. Get an even better view if you were camping here. And did you know that you can go to NASCAR.com for even that? It covers just about everything. Go to NASCAR.com/camping. Get your spot picked out. Send them a little credit card information. I'm sure they'll reserve a space for you close to the track. Those folks are having a good time.
Oh, great place to camp here. Darlington next week, too.
That's right.
Gosh,
that's right.
What a fun weekend.
Never know who you're going to see or in what era you might see next week at Darlington. Right now, it's the era of A.J. Allmendinger at Road America. Pole sitter today. Last time he sat on the pole here, he won the race. That was 2013.
You can just see that he's lap after lap. As we see some other cars, even just 4 laps in, you can see the time starting to fall off. But AJ doing a good job of not over abusing the tires, but he's just so smooth at everything that he does. Matt DiBenedetto not far behind him, but AJ was about a half a second quicker that last lap.
And you have to wonder, Dale, what they've learned since Watkins Glen. Austin Cindric was able to get the better of A.J. Allmendinger at Watkins Glen. AJ's a pretty smart guy, and they're pretty good at building race cars. I'm sure they had long discussions about how they could have their 10 car better at the end of the day.
Yeah, there's no doubt that when you have a driver of AJ's caliber giving you feedback and saying, okay, this is where we have to be better. We have to make some improvements in this area, and you have a little bit of time to make those improvements and get the job done. You see the results of it by giving AJ a really good car that he can take his skills and his talents and put out front.
The Californian maintaining a 1.3 second lead over another Californian, the 18 of Matt DiBenedetto. Heather with more on the 10.
You guys just mentioned he's faster than Matt DiBenedetto right now, and his team just told him that as well. But very relaxed over the radio, not only for A.J. Allmendinger, but also his spotters. They seem to be kind of joking around, having a little bit of fun. Leading this race out front early, but relaxed like you wouldn't believe. Parker?
And Heather, for the driver chasing him, and Matt DiBenedetto in the 18. You know, he was telling me after qualifying, he was still worried about the long run pace of that 18 car, and they made some more adjustments to the rear end of it before the start of this race in terms of just trying to get a little bit more rear grip. He's really been focused on trying to get rear grip for the long run in that 18 car. He said, you know, when I ran so well at Sonoma in the Cup car, it might sound crazy that these two connect, but I had put all my focus on rear grip, and that's what I'm doing here because I think that's the way I'm going to be good at the end of a long run.
Let's talk about AJ and what Heather was talking about. Relaxed, having fun, having a good time. You know, when he was in the Cup Series and you came to a road course, there was a tremendous amount of pressure because everybody was saying, okay, this is AJ's opportunity. If he's going to get into the playoffs, he's got to get in there. Yeah. So that's just another tremendous amount of pressure that you put on himself. He can go here. He has the skills, the talents. You know, he's won in the Cup Series, but this is a little bit, it's more like a fun weekend at Road America for him and enjoying that.
This is out of the kink. Driver with issues there, and I'm sorry to say, I think it's Brandon Jones again. This time does not nose his Toyota into the opposite side wall. See the dust on the back of the Camry there, or the Supra, excuse me.
Wow. I don't know how he didn't hit something there, but that's tremendous. He did learn from yesterday not to turn the wheel hard and go back across the track, so give him that, but he's going to figure out where to let off going. Well, you just barely let up going into that corner, so it's not like that it's a full, where you're all the way out of the gas going through there. As you can see, he's going to get a little attention to that car.
Yep, going to go ahead and pit Dale, and this may not be the world's worst strategy, given the way things work here. Coming in on lap 6 of 45. 3 stages today. They end at lap 10 and lap 20, and then down to the end. So he could probably go to the end of the next stage.
Yeah, and we're anticipating most are going to pit at the end of this stage and then carry over into the middle of the final stage at some point. So yeah, it might end up. He's going to end up front. And what he can do with the car then, we'll have to see.
Keep it right in the kink, and he might be all right. There's Brandon on pit road now.
And you can see a lot of grass on the front. That would be another consideration to make sure that they got that off and didn't overheat.
You can see they're going to make it the full pit stop here, put on a new set of Goodyear Racing Eagles, and pack it full of Sunoco fuel so he can go that 17, 18, 19, maybe 20 laps or more with the caution laps in there. Challenge here, Chase Briscoe and Christopher Bell banging doors.
Chase just decided he wanted that spot a little bit more. You can see that the one place that Christopher Bell's having a little bit of problem is those right in the center of those corners where this car just won't turn, and that's creating issues for him and allowing other drivers to get up beside him and take that spot.
So 2 quandaries for Christopher Bell. Braking was 1, and now center turn in the race car, so it might be a challenging day for a very skilled driver.
Yeah, but he's only got a few more laps here to hold him off. He's still in the top 10 right at this point, getting ready to lose that though probably.
Kaz Grala with a challenge down to the inside. The 21 through, past the 20. Here comes Clements.
Yeah, instead of pushing it right at this point, and I'm sure that his crew is probably getting ready to tell him maybe a spotter, hey, there's no reason racing these guys right now. Just take it easy. When you get behind Regan Smith, there's nobody close behind that. Just ride this out and let's get some new tires on it.
We're going to briefly step away as Allmendinger continues to lead, but you won't miss a thing because we're going NASCAR nonstop.
Welcome back to Road America. You see Matt DiBenedetto pitting from second place. They're going to flip this stage. It's going to be 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel. This is a planned stop so they can put themselves in the best track position for when the others pit under the stage. Heather?
Also in to flip that stage is the number 8 of Regan Smith. No complaints over the radio so far. They did 4 tires and Sunoco fuel.
You can see Christopher Bell is on pit lane as well. Parker?
Right, and it was 4 Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel, and a small adjustment for some rear grip for Christopher Bell.
Kaz Grala in and out. So Dale coming to 2 to go, as Allmendinger will be. He's like a half lap from that now. Everyone is still free to pit until they cross the start-finish line with the leader, and 2 to go. They can't pit anymore before they get on the stage.
Yes, and different strategies that they have employed here. Be interesting to see what AJ does here.
This is kind of the Brandon Jones strategy a little bit further down the line, right?
Yes.
Because as Brandon pitted, he will be out ahead of all these cars with his full load of fuel and new tires.
So if AJ elects to stay out here and go on and win the stage, then he's going to line up behind a number of drivers that have already come to pit road.
He could decide to dash in.
He can.
As the leader, he will not have tripped the wire for 2 to go.
Yeah, you know, they're certainly in a position. Stage wins doesn't mean anything to them. Stage points, nothing like that means anything. You know, they're just here to try to win this race.
Crew Chief Alex Jans, what will he do for his driver? Well, he's going to leave him out. So apparently they're going to take some points for the 10 today as well. And maybe it puts them right where they want to be, strategy-wise, too.
That's right, yes. Yeah, I'm sure they have a plan laid out, and they're sticking to that, not worried about what everyone else is doing. And the one good thing that he will have will be fresh tires. These other drivers are going to have a couple of laps on their tires, plus they're going to cycle down and cool off, which is not quite as good as having fresh Goodyears on.
Josh Bilicki, so many laps around here, training other drivers. Got a little bit sideways here in turn 5. Just kind of, maybe the brakes didn't do exactly what he thought they were going to, Dale.
Yeah, or maybe he just got in there a little further than he anticipated and wanted to, and did the right thing there by not sliding and locking everything up or spinning out in front of other cars.
Didn't hurt his tires. Didn't get a lot of debris on the front of that car. Looks clean. And Josh continues on. You've been listening all weekend. He's quite a fun story because he saw an entry list for Elkhart Lake that he knew very well, and it had a couple of TBAs there, so he started making phone calls. Sure enough, somebody did need a driver, somebody with experience at Road America. That's what A.J. Allmendinger has right now, and he also has track position and a nice, healthy 2.7 second lead over Austin Cindric. As you can see, Austin creeping into the picture back there. And some of this has to be what Austin was thinking at Watkins Glen as well, right? Because A.J. had a pretty strong car there. Austin did not lead all day long and had to challenge that driver for the win. So maybe we're seeing a replay here, Dale.
Yeah, and I don't think Austin has his car exactly where he wants it yet. So when they come to make their pit stop, make a little adjustment, get him a little bit more comfortable. He knows what he's up against. He's not going to win. He's not going to get a playoff point here in this first stage. So just, you know, take it easy, stay on the track, and get ready to make the adjustments and go after stage 2.
Cole Custer in the 00 there, trying to eat into that gap between second and third. If you're just joining us and thinking, man, it looks like a nice day in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, you are right. It is spectacular weather. These drivers are making a lot of grip, a lot of horsepower on this 4-mile road course. Just try not to mow the green grass, Dale. That's one of the keys today.
No, leave that to someone else. These different strategies, though, as to when you put tires on these cars are going to make it really fun for us to watch.
Whoa, whoa, 2 dust clouds in a row there.
Yeah, we talked about how difficult a corner this is, and the one that the drivers felt like gives them more problems than anywhere else on this road course. Whoa.
Now a big lockup by Justin Allgaier, and the tire is down. Left front goes down, and he is into the gravel in turn 1. You saw it lock up, and then you saw it give way as he wore down to the cords. That tire, eventually all the air escaped out of it.
Yeah, this is going to be costly for them.
Justin will try to get it moved, but I don't think that is happening.
No. Got to be towed out of there. It's going to bring an end to the stage.
Yep. NASCAR would love to see every stage come to an end under green, but they don't extend them to make that happen. And if you get an incident like this here, they will shut it down and let it go as is. Let's see where this gets started here. We just saw him go off in the Kinkdale, by the way.
Yeah, so it looked like he had kind of locked him up there, so he probably had already hurt this tire, and you can see then as he got in where he had probably been getting in, but having an issue with the tire already. You can see it lock up, and then it just blows out, and then there's no turning this car. Nothing you can do as a driver except hang on and hope that you don't hit anything.
Not knowing, going down to the end of the front straightaway, you're at full speed.
Well, yeah, that's one of the fastest parts of the track. And of course, it was a tire issue for him last week that cost him the opportunity to win the race at Bristol last Friday night.
So 2 weeks in a row disappointment, but this one's not over because with the length of the laps here, most likely we'll only go 1 lap down. We'll see how quickly the safety crew can get over there. They've got a tow strap on the front and the rear. You see that on the left-hand side there above the C, and they'll try to get it hooked up. Parker.
And Justin was pleading on the radio to get them to use that toe strap as soon as possible, as you mentioned, and not go a lap down here, because it's possible with how long the lap is and where the leader is on the racetrack. So he's been pleading on the radio to get them to just hook it up and pull them out.
Yeah, don't go for that hood, folks. Don't go for the deck lid. If under NASCAR rule, if they go either place, Dale, the car is out of the event.
Yeah. So they have to be able to pull this car out. Otherwise, that'll be the end of the day. That's why they've put these hooks on there for them to be able to do that. Used to just be in the front for a lot of these cars.
Mm-hmm. That worked well at Mid-Ohio. Saw that used several times. And there is the green and white checkered flag signifying the end of stage 1. And the 10 car, A.J. Allmendinger, will take it. So under caution for the end of the stage, precipitated by the problems for Justin Allgaier. We'll see what happens when we come back to Road America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Perfect for race fans. If you were with us earlier in the weekend, you caught all the action live on the NBC Sports app. That's how you do it these days. Make sure you get us anytime, anywhere, and even replays. Be a good use of your time right there. So replays are not what Justin Allgaier would like to see because he's in a tough situation, Dale.
Yeah, you can see here going down into turn 1 on this final lap of the stage. I think that tire had been damaged from getting off course earlier and locking up the brakes, and then finally gave way. They pulled him out, but he's having to make his way around.
Yeah, it's not like they can give him assistance with that left up in the air. So the splitter's been dragging all the way around the track.
Yeah, there's just a lot of damage this could create in having to go almost 4 miles around.
You know, why is it in the back of my mind, though, I don't count this team out or that driver?
Oh, no. No.
Because we've seen it before. You know, it was at Mid-Ohio where they had a spin, and it just fell right into perfect strategy. Jason Burdett knew what to do, didn't panic, neither did the driver, stayed on fast laps and had better tires by the end of the race. So we'll see what they find when they bring it in there. Dale, what are the other things? I mentioned the splitter, danger of grinding off as he's going around the track here.
Yeah, we've got a sway bar under there that could have damage. And, you know, with this tire, you don't know what it's wrapping around in there, so it could create a brake issue on top of that.
He has almost caught the back of the field. They are all coming out of the final corner and heading for pit road. A.J. Allmendinger, winner of the first stage, he is going to lead them on to pit road here at lap 11 of 45.
Yeah, that's what we're thinking. More than likely, that's what's going to happen. We assume these drivers that stayed out, yes, are going to go to pit road. And
I had a spy. I was keeping an eye on it. There's Allmendinger's black and white 10 car, and it's a long way before they actually get to timing lines and actual pit stalls. He will be the first one in. Heather?
And for the stage winner, A.J. Allmendinger, like I said, he felt really good about the race car, but they are going to make a couple adjustments here. They're going to do an air pressure adjustment and wedge on the number 10, but he did have a huge lead and was happy early on in that race. For the 00 of Cole Custer, he was saying that he's a little bit loose in 2 of the turns and tight in the carousel. So they said, back up your entry and we'll fix everything else. 4 tires to no-go fuel. Parker?
I like that. You know, we'll fix a few things here, and driver, you fix something as well.
Yeah, it's got to be everybody doing their job. As we look at all these cars coming off pit road, one that stayed on the track was Austin Cindric.
And behind him, all the drivers who dove in early. Parker, what do you know about the 22 strategy?
Well, it was pretty interesting listening to his radio because crew chief Brian Wilson came across and said, us staying out here allows us to do that strategy we talked about for later in the race, which I can only assume means they're trying to have the most set of tires for late in the race. Remember, you know, they have the 3 sets of tires available. You can do it on 2 stops, but being able to have that 3rd set maybe available for a late caution could be very advantageous. I think that's what the 22 is trying to do here.
Appreciate that update. The 7 of Justin Allgaier has finally made it to pit road with that down left front tire. By the way, pit road speeding penalty for the 9 of Noah Gregson. He will go to the rear of the field. So while Allgaier's team goes to work there, checks out the damage, pit stops have occurred. We'll come back for the start of stage 2 at Road America. Hope you've enjoyed celebrating grassroots racing like we have this year, using the hashtag MyTrackMyRoots. All over the country, you see folks chiming in and sharing on social media their stories, and that's all we're asking you to go. Go to one of these great tracks and let us know what you see. Tell a story or two. There's at least 47 short tracks in Wisconsin, and a story or 5 at every one of them. So Grassroots Racing Tour continues on. Hashtag MyTrackMyRoots. Some of these drivers' roots would like to include in their career, on their resume, a win at Road America. Be interesting to see then how the strategies play out. Austin Cindric has not been to pit road yet. Drivers with him pitted on lap 11.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd want to be in that situation, but they've won these 2 road course races using good strategy and good driving.
Coming to the green, older tires on the yellow 22. Christopher Bell peeking out there, trying to get a look already. And nicely blocked by Cindric. And here comes DiBenedetto on the outside. Can the 18 prevail? Yes, he will.
Yeah, I just get concerned you set your driver up to actually get run into in a situation like this with this much older tires. They'd already slowed down about 2 seconds over what they've been running. Uh-oh.
Custer off the track, through the banners and into the sand trap. Can he keep it rolling? Nicely done. But off track for Cole Custer. He was running 7th. And now DiBenedetto locking up the front tires heading down into turn 5. And now Christopher Bell has gotten around Austin Cindric. You might say he gave him a little grace there at the restart there, DJ.
Yeah, he sure did.
Whoa, 3 wide. That's not going to work for long. And Allmendinger makes it through, pulling Jeremy Clements with him.
And we know these restarts are just fast and furious. Get as much real estate as you possibly can right now.
Now with the differing strategies, you've got drivers who pitted ahead of each other. Tommy Joe Martins was in that mix in the 66, the silver car. Oh, look at the front end of Cole Custer's car. He's got one of the banners there. He rolled through. Here's how it happened. Diving down, oh, just squeeze to the outside there. Regan Smith really didn't block him, DJ, just kind of trying to make his own move.
Yeah, was kind of setting up for the corner there, and Cole Custer saw an opportunity that he might go to the outside as Regan Smith was getting slowed down by the car in front of him.
Crew Chief Mike Shiplett can't believe it. But it's a long day at Road America. It'll be time to make up. So Custer's on a top 10 streak right now that he doesn't want to break today. I'll get some repairs made at that 00 car and get him back out here. And we talked about not giving up on it. Remember, Brandon Jones had trouble early, went to pit road. He runs 5th right now. There he is in the black 19. Heather with more on Cole Custer.
Car to overheat, so the plan is to come down pit road.
Yeah, I'm sorry about the technical difficulties there with Heather's mic, but I'm sure she was telling us that he is reporting high temperatures there, DJ, and they need to come to get that car to pit lane.
Yeah, they've got a lot of work to do there. They'll try to do it in as timely a fashion as they possibly can. Get back out, try to stay on the lead lap here, and then probably have to come back in at the end of this stage and do some more work on it.
Trying to stay is Austin Cindric. He was the restart leader. He's now back to 5th. He may lose that to Briscoe right here. Custer making his way onto pit road in the 00. Yeah, race sponsorship sometimes ends up in a race car. You can see that he blew through those banners down there.
As long as nothing went in there and punched a hole in the radiator.
And the splitter looks to be pretty well intact there.
Apparently there's something, a piece that they really need to get out of there, taking a little bit more time than I know they were wanting to.
And Cindric now on those old tires, drifting back in the 22 car. Allmendinger goes by. Regan Smith gets by as well. Tyler Reddick with a challenge in the 2.
We have to see how this strategy works out throughout the rest of the afternoon for Austin Cindric and his team. I question that saving the tires for too late in the race because so many cars stay on the lead lap, and if not many of them come in after you put that last set of tires on, you've got a lot of ground to make up. But we'll see how it works out for them.
So Custer rolls back out. The protective screen is no longer there, Dale, so hopefully hard debris doesn't get through the front of that Mustang.
Yeah, try to stay on track. That's the object every lap,
yeah,
but
that's right.
Especially now.
No, I'm glad you reviewed that with me. I need review sometimes. 51 of Clements now challenging the 22 of Cindric as Reddick is through. And now Austin can lock those tires up all he wants. He doesn't care about this set anymore. They have served him well, but clearly they've lost the kind of grip that he needs to stay at the front of this pack. 14 laps or 56 miles on him right now. Kaz Grala chasing Christopher Bell, Parker.
Right, David, he just actually lost that position to Christopher Bell. He was as high as second there. What a run for this young man. You know, this is his last scheduled race of the season as he comes into Road America. Last one with Richard Childress Racing for the year. And he says all he does in his off time is work on building sponsor relationships and trying to get sponsorship to be in race cars more often. And he said, if I could just win today, that might give me a couple more chances. He's doing a great job, though, in that 21 car and really putting it up front right now.
Yeah, he's really doing a nice job. Has since they really unloaded yesterday and got onto the track very early. Doing a really good job as he tries to take that spot back away from Christopher Bell here.
Tight racing through turn 6. Bell is going to keep the advantage here. Yeah, last time we saw Kaz, he was home in New England. Finished 14th at New Hampshire. And he's another driver, DJ, that has gone to the teams with the faster cars and said, I can afford. Whoa, whoa, whoa. In the carousel, that is tough to do. Timmy Hill just jumped into the 61, replacing the driver who was in there, and they got caught up behind him in that long right-hander. It was Dick Harth they pulled out of the 61 car and put Timmy Hill, who normally drives for this team, back in. For some reason was not up to speed there through the carousel.
Here comes Bell trying to take that spot back away.
This is a good duel right here. That is for second.
Justin Haley sitting there just ready to pounce on either one of them, make a slight mistake as they race.
Oh, contact there. Bell's going to back off a little bit. And here comes the 98 of Chase Briscoe. So second, third, fourth, fifth, right there. Matt DiBenedetto, by the way, 2.3 seconds ahead of all this, out in the lead for the first time in the Xfinity Series, his first lap sled.
See, Bell continues to be really aggressive right here. Can he make this corner driving in? Nice job. So he's got those fresh tires on now after getting those tires off. Jason Ratcliffe and them playing good strategy to put him in a good spot with the good tires. They managed all of that. Christopher Bell did a good job. You can see Cole Custer back on pit road.
Heather?
Well, the first time he came down, they cleaned the grill and the brake ducts to try to get the car from overheating or to prevent it from overheating. Right now, they're having issues with the radiator, so his crew chief, Mike Shiplett, said you have to bring it down pit road. We cannot afford to blow an engine, so right now the team working hard to get it repaired and get him back out on track.
Tough break for one of the big three, Dale.
Yeah, we talked about that they could kind of go for broke, but not the situation they wanted to be in.
DiBenedetto trying to run away from this crowd. They're all racing for second behind the 18 car at Road America. Next weekend, it is Darlington. Throwback weekend for the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series. Monster Energy Cup Series racing next Sunday night on NBCSN starting at 6 Eastern. We can't wait. Let's head to Parker.
Hey guys, Austin Cindric was just on pit road. It was 4 tires, Sunoco fuel, and a small adjustment. So I think I'm starting to figure out their strategy here. This is going to allow them to go very far into stage 3 to when they want to put that last set of tires on. Or I mean, sorry, they'll have 2 more.
I know that's making some sense to me. Dale, what do you think as far as their strategy goes? Because, you know, that was a little bit long to leave him out there on those old tires.
Yeah, he lost a lot of spots. What they lost was a lot of time to the leader. So we're going to have to see. I'm not buying into this strategy yet, and he may win and prove me wrong. I'm not a crew chief. But we knew there would be different. Uh-oh, trouble in the kink once again.
That is Nemechek. John Hunter Nemechek in the 23 getting it righted and back on track, but that was close. Doesn't look like he hit anything.
No, but there's a lot of grass and dirt through there. And as a driver, you really can't see through what's in the middle of that.
Wow. And you brave drivers just go ahead and speed on, don't you?
Well, yeah, brave, or there's other words to describe that at times, but you know, you kind of have to.
Nemechek was running 10th when that happened, and now earlier leader AJ Allmendinger is on pit road in the 10. 21 of Kaz Grala decides to come to pit road as well. So things starting to happen here in stage 2, Heather.
Well, I asked the team earlier what their strategy was going to be, and they were a little close-lipped to me. They didn't really want to tell me what they were going to do, but they said when they make the call, it'll be quick. So they decided to come down pit road for 4 tires here. Strategy definitely for the 10 at this point in the race.
Allmendinger, Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel, Reddick the same way, 4 and a fill, as well as Kaz Grala.
We're going to see. So AJ's going to come back out ahead, quite a bit ahead of the 22 car, because he'd made up a lot of ground with his fresher tires, but he's going to have 1 less set of tires.
Parker?
And guys, as we watch Kaz Grala exit there, I believe he just ran over his jack. I could see a lot of damage on the right rear side skirt there. So there was a little bit of complication as he left his pit box there.
I'll keep an eye on that. It does look a little bit dinged up back there. While we were at break, there was a lot of action on track. You saw the battles we had to step away from. It included the 98 of Chase Briscoe charging down into turn 5, Dale.
Yeah, we talk about the high braking area and just getting in a little bit too hot there. AJ actually made it 3 wide there, but you can see Chase Briscoe trying to get it done.
Like he was following Haley, who didn't get it right either. Here's what happened to Nemechek.
Yeah, it looked like he might have got it just off his, couldn't get slowed down enough there. Got the right rear, the left rear off.
See if we can see on the left hand. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Came down off that jack wrong. See if that affects the 21 car. High speeds here, Dale. How much is a little side skirt worth here?
I think that's okay. You know, there's some damage there, but I don't think there's anything that should bother him too much.
Keep our ear to that radio, see if we hear anything from the driver. Tyler Reddick will scoot by, and you see Allmendinger, who rolled off pit road ahead of them to begin with.
You see Justin Allgaier right there. He actually is right now, with the way everything is, in the free pass position.
Okay. And this is a strategy that DiBenedetto's team will play. Here on lap 18, the 18 car of Matty D comes to pit road. So as the leader, with 2 to go, he hadn't crossed the line yet, so he's free to do that and legal, Parker.
Right, Dave, and he's been very quiet on the radio. A lot happier in that race car than he was in the first run, where he was just asking for more grip. It will be 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel for Matt DiBenedetto as the race leader. Once again, flipping this stage. No adjustments there on their air pressure. You see also his teammate Christopher Bell on pit road, 4 Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel. He's struggling a little bit in the right-handers there with the 20 car. Just an air pressure adjustment in a way.
So 2 of the faster competitors on and off of pit road. You see the 43 car there, by the way. That's Preston Pardis. His first NASCAR Xfinity Series start has come to an end there. Just kind of parked it right there, and NASCAR is okay with that apparently. Meanwhile, Chase Briscoe trying to get around Justin Haley. Looking for every way to do it. He'll try it down here. Entry to the carousel. He's going to get him and maybe give him a little shot on the way by. Heather?
And on that previous lap, Chase Briscoe's team told him, now be smart here, you're battling the 11 for the stage win, and they definitely want these stage points. But I mentioned earlier in qualifying, he has a driver coach up in the spotter stand for him, of Billy Johnson, a sports car racer. So he's really been helping Chase with his overall line here at Road America.
And Heather, as we talk about drivers that need to show up and be that fourth driver for the championship, one of the things hindering Briscoe are the playoff points. Right now he's only got 6 compared to a driver like Christopher Bell, who has 38. So a stage win here, Dale, a chance to pick up another playoff point. Good move.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good move on their part. May change their strategies just a little bit as for what they're looking for and what they'll do in the last segment of the race.
So Briscoe, Haley, Regan Smith, who doesn't care about playoff points, just wants to win this afternoon in that bright green car with 1 lap to go. And now Briscoe just has to hit his marks and keep it clean. That's something he did very well last year at the Roval at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Was the inaugural winner for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Didn't think of himself as much of a road course racer, but proved that day that he could do it. And then earlier this year, several excursions in sports car racing just to get his craft correct. And then, of course, the 3-race run this summer on the road courses and a chance to repeat at the Roval this fall. Chase Briscoe is becoming a good little road racer.
Yeah, he's showing really good skills, and it's always nice to have someone in your corner that can help and get everything done, and understanding these cars more and what you're looking for and what you need. You know, finding the places that you can make up time or make time versus trying to make it in places that really isn't a good risk reward.
Coming to the end of the stage, you look like you were working strategies over there, Dale. You come up with anything?
Oh, no. A number of them had me confused here, but we'll see how it works out for them. But I think that's what you find yourself in, depending on exactly what you're looking to get out of this race and the position that you want to be in here, especially as we get to the middle of the final stage of the race.
Well, we talked about how it could be an all-out brawl for the win because the drivers that are looking to the playoffs are pretty well locked in. They could be competing against a driver who might want to upset the apple cart there, and those that are outside the playoff picture, or the part-time drivers who are in very fast race cars today, De Benedetto, AJ Allmendinger, and Regan Smith. But they're not going to catch Chase Briscoe for the win in stage 2 as long as he keeps it clean through the final 3 corners.
Yeah, and that could be a valuable point somewhere along the way in one of a couple of segments that we have once we get into the playoffs. You never know when 1 point could make the difference.
Can those playoff points carry over from round to round? They've only got 3 rounds in the NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs, so those first 2, that can be critical. This will be the 2nd career stage win for Chase Briscoe. The first one came at the Mid-Ohio Road Course, and he'll get a playoff point. Chase Briscoe, winner of stage 2. He fought for it. He put a fender to him. He knew he wanted that point and the 10 stage points that come along with it. Chase Briscoe wins at Road America, but we're not done yet. Welcome back to the CTECH Manufacturing 180 from Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Stage 2 complete. Chase Briscoe, the winner of that stage. Justin Allgaier, by the way, 1 lap off the pace. May have been the free pass car there.
Yeah, so
he was in position for that, right?
Yes, here he is going around, so he'll be back on the lead lap.
So after earlier troubles for last year's winner here, Allgaier is going to move back to a good position. Now we'll see who takes advantage of this pit stop here, Dale. The leader of the race, Briscoe, was last on pit road at lap 11. He can get to 32, 35 or so if he stayed out here.
Yeah, if they stay out here, they've got, and the rest of them that pitted along with them, if they stay out, then it's not going to cost them as much. Like where Austin Cindric was up there, where he had a number of cars right on his bumper that had fresh tires, and he fell all the way back to the 13th or 14th spot. So if their strategy is to get all the way into this final stage and just pit one more time, then this could work out for them. So we might not see them on pit road right here.
See where they all last pitted, the drivers in the top 20, that is.
They're looking like they're headed that way, though.
Sure do. As they roll this direction, there's no escaping to juke your way back out. So they are all coming. You see Timmy Hill staying on the track there to the left. This will bring everybody down. Trying to see who that Toyota was that stayed out too. Was that Christopher Bell? It was. So that'll be
Benedetto also. They should be the first two,
because they pitted on lap 18.
Chase Briscoe here. He said he's overall happy with the car right now, but they're going to do 4 Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel, and a track bar adjustment. As far as the 11 car goes, he said that he's really dealing with some wheel hopping. They think that the brake bias might be too cold, so they told him to turn off the fans. 4 tires and fuel for him as well. Parker?
2017 race winner here, Jeremy Clements. Very happy with the car. Sunoco fuel here for the 51 car.
Crew likes that pit stop on and off of pit road, and here's how they will roll out. Briscoe with nice speed from his crew will win that race off of pit road, but he won't be the race leader, Dale.
No, we have a few others. We'll have to reset once they come back around and see where everybody lines up.
There they are behind the pace car. Matty D back in control at Road America. We'll line it all up for you when we come back to Wisconsin. Track 2 Tough to Tame is hosting the second to last race of the regular season for the Cup Series, and you can still get tickets. Go to NASCAR.com/tickets and get tickets for Darlington. We don't have a lot of nice hillsides like this, DJ, so I think you're going to need a ticket.
Yeah, definitely going to need a ticket if you go down.
Throwback weekend, you won't want to miss it, but if you can't get there, make sure you tune in to NASCAR America all week long, because we're going to have you covered. We're going to show you paint schemes. We're going to talk about back in the day. We're going to tell stories too, Dale.
Oh, a lot of stories to be told, certainly. And we'll start with Monday and recap this weekend of all the racing action, and then get ready, so we have 2 races left before the playoffs start. I know we'll have one from the track actually on Friday, I believe, also.
iRacing All-Star Race Thursday at 5 p.m. That was a good one from Iowa the last time we saw them. And, of course, the Dale Jr. Download. He'll be giving us all of his insight as well. Justin Allgaier has been on pit road for a while. They continue to work on that car. Here's some paint schemes that we'll see at Darlington next week. William Byron in the Days of Thunder livery. And then, of course, Dale Jarrett, you're going to recognize this one. Good-looking 32.
Yeah, actually the actual number of my Xfinity car back in 90 and 91 with the Nestle's Crunch sponsorship at that time.
Corey LaJoie will try to keep that from getting crunched on Sunday night. And then Saturday, don't forget, Dale Jr. still scheduled to race in the 8 car painted up like his dad's famous number 8 for Hellman's Mayonnaise. Says he has a plan B, but we hope Junior's in the car. He expects to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. We hope to see you at Darlington or with us all week long leading up to it. Final stage of Road America about to get going here.
Baddest thing around, right there.
I ran my first race, won, kept going and kept going. I mean, I knew Checkered was good.
Oh, look at this, yes. Oh, Denny to the inside.
Here we are. This represents the rear gear that was on the go-kart.
I'm very proud of him.
Yeah.
He's like my son.
I was trying to give him his dream, but I tried every way I could to make sure he at least got a shot at it.
Yeah.
Checkered flag waving at the start-finish line. Who will get there first?
Denny Hamlin has won the 61st edition of the Daytona 500.
Are you kidding me?
Denny Hamlin, discovered by Joe Gibbs Racing, setting up a car for another driver who was, going to be their future star. And lo and behold, they found him a good one. Racing Roots with Denny Hamlin. After us tonight, 6 Eastern on NBCSN. And don't forget IndyCar racing from Gateway. That will be fun to watch. And if you want to end your night with a little two-wheeling, why not? Lucas Oil Motocross, the Ironman National, late tonight at 11.
Can't wait to see that on Denny. I mean, that dream has become a reality with 2 Daytona 500 wins, multiple wins everywhere else. And what is he up, 35 now, 36 wins? Just incredible career that he's put on. Just looking for that first championship, and this might be that year.
Another driver who's trying to win a championship is Allgaier, but Parker, they've had a long stop on pit road here for what?
Right, well, they had that left front go down, and then DJ, you remarked how it was 4 miles all the way back around. Well, sure enough, it did some damage underneath that car, grinding off the sway bar arm, so they came in, tried to take off the damaged one. They got their lap back there by being the lucky dog, and then basically came back in a second time right here to try and put a new sway bar arm on that 7 car, and that's what they're attempting to do right now. So it's a lot of work for them, and obviously it was all because of grinding that bottom underneath around these 4 miles.
Well, let's hope they got it right and can close that hood quick, because here comes the field. He's still on the lead lap, but they are rolling through the final corner here at Road America and about to start up the hill. Dale, the top 5 cars stayed out on this round of pit stops. As far as we can tell, no one can make it to the end here on fuel, so we're probably looking at one more stop.
One more stop, just a matter of how long into this final segment you're going to go.
How long will you wait to put on another set of tires and get your driver the best he can be at the front of the field? Matt DiBenedetto is the control car. He'll be to the left in the red, white, and blue 18. To his outside, Christopher Bell, his teammate. DiBenedetto gets the jump. Green back out at Road America. Reddick and Bell keep it clean. You saw Cindric go just a little bit wide. Here's where Custer got into trouble earlier. Still too wide, looking good.
Yeah, this is a difficult time for Christopher Bell, too. We talked about it, documented the brake issues he's kind of had. How much can he trust that, and how hard is he going to be able to charge right here? He needs to go hard. A lot of good cars right around him.
Down the hill to turn 5. No one locking them up yet. Looking good through here. There's Allmendinger's 10 on the outside of Cindric's 22. A little off track. That's a abrupt bump right there.
Yeah, that hurt AJ on the exit of that corner. He just couldn't get the power down to it.
Briscoe's going to hold that spot. Gregson sneaking in front of the red 23 of John Hunter Nemechek.
To update, the 7 car was off of pit road. He's out ahead of this lead pack.
Yep, Justin is going through Canada corner as we speak. The leaders come through the carousel. Oh man, Christopher Bell is driving that car. 20 sneaking off the edge right there. The exit of the kink. And everybody trying to find their rhythm. It's not there for Chase Briscoe. Allmendinger gets by. And there's that pesky 51, Dale.
Yep.
Jeremy Clements. Winner here 2 years ago. In a car that at that time was 10 years old. Updated their equipment this year. Jeremy proclaimed it a whole lot better when he raced at Watkins Glen in Mid-Ohio this year. Looks like they have it right for today at Road America as well. I always want to feel like that's a tighter corner in my mind, Dale, but you've really got to sweep that with a lot of speed, don't you?
Yeah, you got to carry the speed. Yeah, that's the key to it is, you have to attack it, but not too much, because it's letting the car roll to where you can power back up is the key to getting off of there and carrying speed so that you don't get past. Dave this sport always brings us so many interesting scenarios. And as we look at the first two there that are basically teammates today, but with the announcement last week that Matt DiBenedetto would not be back in the 95 car, the speculation is in the Cup Series is that that's where Christopher Bell is going next year. So I'm sure that it probably Matt D is thinking a little bit about that and trying to prove a point here today.
And part of the discussion has been if he wins last week at Bristol, if he wins here today, it really doesn't change the story because the decision has been made and Matt's proven his points already, right?
Yeah, he has nothing else to prove. We know now he's shown the world that he's very capable of driving a Cup car at the highest level, and it's just a matter of which one of these owners now are going to step up and put Matt DiBenedetto in a car that is ready to go win races, because the driver is.
Hired as a development driver for Joe Gibbs Racing back in 2009. Won a couple of races for them there. And did not see really the light of day in NASCAR for about 4 years. Showed back up in a lesser Cup Series ride and ran a number of years there. Whoa, Ryan Sieg, hang on. He's going to blow that corner. Jones is going to retain that, but he keeps it out of the wall. And then DiBenedetto bet on himself last year, stepped out of a ride deal with no plans for this season, and landed a very coveted ride in the 95 for Levine Family Racing.
Yeah, thought that he could find something better, than where he could showcase his talents more. And what has he done? He stepped up to the plate and done exactly that this year. Had some outstanding runs.
He's been one of the fun stories to follow this year.
You know, we talk about that side of it, that he's wanting to stay in front of Christopher Bell. You know, there's a little bit inside of Christopher Bell saying, okay, all the talk's about Matty D right now. I want to show you that I'm very worthy of having that ride too. And not saying that he is not. Christopher Bell is ready to be in a Cup car also.
Seabell trying to track down his teammate. Meanwhile, behind them, the two of Reddick. Again, a self confessed non-road racer, runs another strong third.
Yeah, you know, it's just not something the majority of these drivers grow up doing. You grow up racing on short tracks, and road course racing is just something that you start doing. Denny Hamlin, a great example, and you'll see that tonight after our race, that, you know, he's won on road courses, but that wasn't what he came into the sport knowing how to do. He's just made himself into that.
Ryan Sieg, after missing Canada Corner, brings his car to pit road. And with 20 to go, this would put him in position, Dale, to make this his last stop.
Should be able to make it from here. This right on the edge of it. You can see he's trying to make this corner, and probably felt like that he probably had hurt that left front tire to the point that, okay, we're in a position now. Let's just go ahead and try a different strategy here than what we were looking at.
Ryan Sieg, the first to pit last at Road America. Will that make sense when it comes to the checkered flag? Matt DiBenedetto will have something to say about that. So glad you could join us today at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, Road America. You see the 22 of Cindric diving to pit road. Let's first take a look at our Toyota driver update. Matt DiBenedetto continues to lead. Bell in second. The other drivers driving today. Ryan Ellison, his second start of the season. Brandon Jones in a backup car and doing well. And Tommy Joe Martins holding down 21st in the 66 car. Contact between the 10 of Allmendinger and the 22 of Cindric while we were away. Austin now brings the 22 to pit road with 18 laps remaining. Parker?
Right, guys, so you saw that contact there. He came on the radio and said, I think we need to pit here. Looking at the smoke that was coming off the left front, so they're going to go put 4 new tires on this car. Pull on the left front fender just a little bit, trying to get it away from the tire. You see the crew going to work there, trying to get that done. It's going to be a little bit of a longer stop here. They continue working. Now they go to the right side. They'll put the 4 tires on and continue. And this should, with him being on newer tires, only pretty much 9-year drag. So the other lead down on pit road once he starts shooting fast lap times.
So the one question we had was whether or not that extra set of tires that he has would be useful later. You did see it in NASCAR Nonstop. This was Allmendinger and Cindric in turn 6.
You can see, yeah, he just lost the rear grip there.
Maybe didn't appreciate being pushed aside.
Well, probably a little bit of that. Yeah, you got to keep your emotions in check there. You know, that's the kind of situation you can have. So any advantage that his new tires might be before others come in, they lost all that by having to take the time to pull that fender away. You can see there was a 23-second pit stop. So he's not going to be able to make that up.
Let's find out a little bit more on the 10 from Heather.
And A.J. Allmendinger's team, they were telling him if you need to pit now, you can. But by the time they got that radioed over, he was already past pit entrance. But his spotter, Brett Griffin, said he really wants to look at that rear tire to see if it's down. That's what he's really worried about, because he couldn't quite tell if there was any fender damage or not.
Heather, thanks for that update. Working, actually completing now, lap 28, 45 the total. Doesn't sound like much, but 182 laps make up the entire distance today. 182 miles, that is. Boy, can you imagine 182 laps around this place, Dale?
No, I couldn't. No.
We'd be here till
You'd
Tuesday.
have to get somebody else to help you.
Yeah. I've got a few who want a job.
I'd have to have a nap before then.
Apparently I would too. All right.
Allmendinger, I don't think he's got enough damage that's going to hurt anything, so they'll probably go ahead and run out their plan that they had put in place here, which is probably looking at a pit stop somewhere 32, 33 laps, somewhere in that range.
Cindric falls back to 27th with that stop, and Allmendinger staying on track, currently running in 4th. AJ won the first stage in fine fashion from the pole.
Yeah, Reddick pulled over and let him go. There just wasn't. He knows that, he knows who's in that car, and there's just no reason to overextend yourself or try to keep a driver that's in a hurry. Only bad things usually can come from something like that. We have to remember that moment, because seldom do we see Tyler Reddick pull over for anything. He's usually the one making the aggressive moves.
Take it back to 7th place, Justin Haley, the Indiana youngster who had the surprise of a lifetime and a little bit of help from Mother Nature when he won at Daytona earlier this year in the Cup Series, Dale. And now trying to win a championship in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, you never know what will happen. Put yourself in position for good things to happen. Doing a really good job here today. Heather?
Yeah, he's been really happy with his car all weekend, too. During practice, he said it was absolutely amazing, but his team reminding him that he needs to stay really smooth and hit his marks, which is a big deal for most of the drivers in the race today. They said they need a long run on these tires because they're not sure when they're going to have to pit, so he needs to take care of his equipment right now.
Saw Tommy Joe Martins with a moment there coming through the kink in the 66 car. And he as well saved it. The kink has shown a lot of potential for disaster, but most drivers have gotten through it today. Tommy Jones' car is a little bit dinged up there. Maybe he got more than I could see there in the cloud of dust.
In the scheme of things, that's pretty minor, though.
All right, So a couple of fast cars hit pit road. We'll see how their strategy works out. Matt DiBenedetto continues to lead in his red, white, and blue 18. If he gets challenged, you won't miss it, because we'll go NASCAR nonstop. You saw it. No one was going to catch and try to pass Matt DiBenedetto, least of all Christopher Bell, who rides there in second. And right now, Dale Jarrett, I've got to figure there's nothing really on the line here right now for Christopher Bell. It's not time to force the issue, and plus Matt's car is pretty good.
Yeah. Matt's doing a really good job out front. We see Christopher, there's some areas that he's a little bit better than Matt DiBenedetto is, and he can close up that gap a little bit, but it's like every time he gets there and tries to push the issue, which there's no reason to do right now. They're going to have to come to pit road again, so make that next adjustment that you need to get your car right and then go after him in those last 10 laps or so.
Matt DiBenedetto has led half of this race. So he's had a solid machine all day long and good strategy from the pits.
Yeah, you can see just up in front of him is Justin Allgaier, who's trying to stay on the lead lap here. I think he got off course. Bell is just driving this thing down. He talks about that he's not a very good road racer, but he's very impressive. I mean, here he is running second again, headed to pit road.
He's going to go ahead and pit here with 14 to go. This time by 15 apparently. You can see up on the top, now the leader crosses, and it will be officially 14 to go when Christopher Bell hits pit road. So there goes the question, when do they put on their fresh tires? And now everyone else is going to have to make their decision.
Yeah, and I like this idea right here is get in a lap before you get one more better lap. Parker?
Right, guys, and actually Austin Cindric was turning 4 seconds a lap faster times than the leaders there. So a lot of the crew chiefs are seeing that, knowing what tires are worth. Christopher Bell comes in, he's going to do those 4 Goodyear tires. Very happy with that car. Although, as you mentioned, driving the heck out of it, he hasn't said much on the radio about the handling. It's 4 Goodyear tires, no fuel, guys.
That is the 5 of Vinnie Miller, who's off in turn 6. Sorry, yep, that's turn 6. He gets it righted and back on track. Coming up the hill under the bridge, locks it up.
The good thing is he tried to get aggressive in a part that you had a runoff area.
That's right. There are a couple spots here where you don't want to put that level of aggression down. It can really cost you.
Yeah, we'd have to think that this has forced the 18 now to probably hit pit road this time. I don't think that you can give the 20 car a 2-lap advantage on fresher tires as we get down to getting close to 10 to go.
That's right. Bell, though he's very far behind on track, the 18 car, he is rolling a whole lot faster with that fresh rubber. Oh, and this is trouble for Brandon Jones. What a weekend it's been for Jones. Tire just beating that fender to death there. We don't know how that was caused. We'll go try to find that. And that is going to bring out a full course caution with all that debris being laid down. And that may shake things up significantly.
Oh, that definitely changes things.
Good for Austin Cindric.
And Christopher Bell.
And Christopher Bell. And now, crew of the 18 going to work on make this work out.
But it really shouldn't be that bad for DiBenedetto and Allmendinger. Everybody's going to have to make a pit stop, so they're going to use that time right now. So they're going to line back up just behind the 20 and the 22.
We'll look at it. We'll reset it when we come back from break. Find out who has the advantage heading into the latter stages of the race today at Road America. You've heard us talk a lot about Throwback Weekend for the Cup cars. What about the Xfinity cars? Next Saturday afternoon on NBC, they have their own throwback cars to talk about. And trust me, DJ, from doing doing the research and the homework from years past, they all like to get involved. It's a lot of fun.
It's a great weekend for everybody to get involved, and so much fun to see, from sponsors to drivers to the crews and owners. The manufacturers getting involved.
Yeah, but it takes some reminding, right? People look on the track and they say, oh, what car is that? And so we'll go through them. We'll let you know exactly what they had in mind, inspired by, or exactly like. A lot of fun at Throwback Weekend at Darlington. This is present day Road America, and there are a lot of cars that are going to come to pit road right now.
Yeah, we've got a lot that, other than the 20 of Christopher Bell and the 22 of Austin Cindric, of the cars that were running up front in particular, pretty much everybody else had not been to pit road yet. So they're, I assume, we're going to stay out there as these others come to get the tires and fuel that they're going to need to get to the end of this race.
Perhaps we should wait and see. That looks like Joey Gase got the free pass this time. He'll go by. Justin Allgaier received it last time. They've made repairs to that car. It's a little bit off the pace, but he's another driver that has probably been to pit road the last time and will work his way back up toward the front, at least on the restart.
Yeah, I would think that he'll come back in.
Work on it some more?
Yeah, I just
tires.
think that they'll probably get tires, and it would be kind of pushing it where they were, whether they could make it on fuel.
All right, DiBenedetto's red, white, and blue car to pit lane, and he'll bring them all with him. Only two cars we expect to stay out. You see there on the upper right, Christopher Bell's red, white, and black 20, yellow 22 of Austin Cindric. Crunch time on pit road now, Heather.
That's right, Dave. And A.J. Allmendinger on that last run, a little frustrated, saying that he might have been trying too hard. He also said he felt like there might be some right front damage from the contact with Austin Cindric. So he's also a little tight, so they said they're going to give him some air pressure here on these Goodyear tires to hopefully get him to give him some turn. Parker?
Right, and for Tyler Reddick, who picks out a third place, just needs more front turn inside that 2 cars to be 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel for him. And then for our leader, Matt DiBenedetto, he was just about to come to pit road but had not made it to the commitment line before that caution came out. He'll do 4 Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel, and air pressure adjustment. Can he win? No, Tyler Reddick will beat him on pit road.
Yep, he's going to lose a couple of spots there. So DiBenedetto, wow, looks like he'll drop 4. So here's how the field lines up. We'll come back and set the end of the race for you at Road America. Just a few laps remaining, but they're long. It's not over yet. Christopher Bell, the leader. That's Wisconsin, and it's gorgeous. Looks like the Osthoff there, maybe on Elkhart Lake. Been there a few times and enjoy staying there when we get the chance to. Here at the racetrack, it is not decided. Under the third caution, and the drivers, almost all the leaders came to pit road that time. We Saw Justin Allgaier's crew did come to pit road. Dale, your suggestion was right. Work on that car a little bit more. And these two drivers out front again on a road course. Second driver there, Austin Cindric, going for 3 in a row, Dale. That would tie the Xfinity Series record.
Yeah, sure would. And nobody's ever done it in the same season. So to win these first 3 road courses, be quite spectacular. But he's fun to watch, and he's the man to get it done, too. Going to have to battle Christopher Bell, though, who's finished second to him in both those races so far.
We noticed Matt DiBenedetto lost a couple of spots on pit road in the 18 car. Take another look at that pit stop, and we'll see if we can decipher. Comes off the wall. Fueling begins. To just make sure those lug nuts were secure.
Yeah.
Lost them.
Yeah, lost them 4 spots, and that'll be tough to make up here,
given who's at the front of the field. Control car will be Christopher Bell. On the day has been pretty solid.
There's a few cars in between Christopher Bell and Austin Cindric and back to where Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe, AJ Allmendinger are, that could let the 20 and the 22 get a little bit of gap, unless they get to racing each other, which they're going to do, obviously. But they could separate themselves quite a bit and just make it a race between them.
First laps of the day led here by Christopher Bell, as he comes up to the start-finish line up the long hill.
Dave, every driver I talked to talked about the inside the last 15 laps, how much the intensity ramped up at this particular road course.
We are inside of that. It'll be 11 to go when they cross the start-finish line. A few hundred feet ahead of this, you see Bell inching ahead. He is supposed to be the first car to fire off in the restart zone. Drivers know where that is, marked on the wall to their right. And it'll be right about where that red line is. Christopher Bell, the option. He fires off. Cindric as well. And now diving down to the inside. Oh, Chase Briscoe took a look. But it was Garrett Smithley throwing the block. And now Briscoe's going to get that spot. Oh, trouble up front. Cindric pushing Bell down hard into the corner.
I thought Chase Briscoe was going to get in there too hard, maybe get into the 20 car. Was able to avoid that, but it cost him.
Smithley dropping back through the field now in the red 0, and Cindric trying to stay challenging, and now he does get ahead of the 20 of Bell. But Briscoe's got a good head of steam up. Tyler Reddick as well in that blue and white too.
Coming to a hard braking area.
See if Bell has his braking issues righted. No lockup right there, so that's good. He maintains pace with Austin Cindric.
Here comes Allmendinger in that 10 car trying to take that 4th spot away from Tyler Reddick.
And Cindric breaks free.
So his tires are going to be somewhere in the neighborhood 4 to 5 laps more on his tires than what AJ Allmendinger, Chase Briscoe, Matt DiBenedetto, and that crowd that just came in, what they have. See if that makes any difference, or does his road racing experience keep him out front?
And we don't think that extra set that they have stored behind the wall is going to benefit them, Dale, given the race and the way the strategy falls right now.
No, just saving Roger Penske some money. It's not doing him any good here this afternoon.
Cindric leading the train. There's DiBenedetto trying to get spots back. Battling with Clements in the 51 for 6th.
Yeah, and what he's looking for and hoping for, probably, because I'm not sure he can drive his way all the way to the front from here. So if he can get another car or two and then hope for a caution, then they can line up and he can make things happen from there.
Clements stays right with him. There's Allmendinger taking a peek to the right of Chase Briscoe.
Oh, yeah, he's going to get that spot as they get down into turn 1.
Chase Briscoe may just give it to him and then get in behind him so he doesn't get himself in another position with Tyler Reddick behind him.
That is for third. Here comes AJ. And one thing Allmendinger didn't want to do was let those leaders get too far out ahead, right, Dale?
No, couldn't do that. You know, even though there's a lot of miles left here. You see the battle. Noah Gragson doing a nice job there.
A little worried Justin Haley was going to be too optimistic in the 11 car there. He backed out nicely. These drivers have finished 1-2 on the road courses. Bell would like to reverse the order. Right now, all he's got is the back bumper of Austin Cindric.
Yeah, when you get up against really good road racers, the one thing that they do that kind of sets them apart is they set their cars up and they're really good on the exit of a corner. So your chances of trying to pass them are going to come whenever you can maybe match them on an exit of a corner, going to a corner where you might possibly outbrake them. But they're so good at that. Austin Cindric's proven that it's going to take a real chance by Christopher Bell probably, or trying to put enough pressure that Austin Cindric makes a mistake.
Going to keep his rearview mirror full, that is for sure. Look how close he is.
Yeah, he's right there. And this is the type of opportunity that if you're that close, you can make things happen. A.J. Allmendinger wants to be a part of this battle, and I'm sure that Austin Cindric's getting the word that A.J.'s coming. Looked like Christopher Bell taking a look there.
High speed, high braking, Canada corner. Bell woeing it down. Cindric trying to outbrake him deep. Oh, and Bell's going to tap him just a little bit. Great driving by these racers.
Boy, it sure was. That was the perfect move that Christopher Bell was trying to put on. Just a little tap. Thought he could make Austin Cindric just hesitate. Going to try it again.
Last corner, takes a peek down there. Now Cindric locks him up a little bit. Here comes Christopher Bell.
They could be 3 wide into turn 1.
Allmendinger trying to sniff the draft. Here he comes in the 10 car, the 3rd car back. Cindric tries to stay with Christopher Bell. Look at him drag down the front straightaway. Down into turn number 1. Who's going to give?
Smart move by Allmendinger, I believe, in backing off, realizing that wasn't the place to make the pressure. See if he can get that second spot. Great pass by Christopher Bell.
Christopher Bell back to the lead. A.J. Allmendinger now moving for second on Cindric.
Yeah, is able to make that pass. This is where those tires are an advantage right now. A.J. has great skills and an advantage with the tire situation.
And that overhead shot was incredible, Dale. You saw the 22 begin to pull the 20 just a little bit. And then Christopher Bell, who we thought had braking issues, maybe has them all corrected. Off track, Matt DiBenedetto. And through the sand.
Yeah, that's down into turn 5 where we talked about. You just try to get a little bit too much right there. You find yourself off the track.
9 laps to go, and I guess the drivers were right. It's getting crazy out there. Parker.
And think about what Christopher Bell is trying to do here to hold off 2 of the best in road race between Austin Cindric and A.J. Allmendinger. When he came in this season, he wasn't too confident in the road courses. Then he had some great finishes, had great speed in practice here at Road America. And Jason Ratcliffe, his crew chief, told me his confidence is just soaring at these road courses as he continually has good runs. They've worked on the car. They feel like everything is lining up for them to have that chance at a win here if he can hold off A.J. Allmendinger.
Man, you see Christopher Bell sliding this car around. That is amazing. He went through that carousel, the back end hung out, through the kink once again, put a little bit more distance between him and A.J. Allmendinger.
And maybe if he can win today, he'll say he's good at this stuff. Christopher Bell came from the short tracks, great on the ovals, and now once again proving himself on the road courses. We'll be back to this action. You won't miss it, though. We'll go nonstop. Laps winding down at Road America. You did not miss a thing as you watched the show Christopher Bell put on. So good, drifting through the carousel, near disaster in the kink, and keeps it ahead of A.J. Allmendinger.
See, Bell's just driving the wheels off this thing, trying to keep one of the best road racers in the business behind him. You can see he pulls a little bit there on A.J. Allmendinger. He's doing all the right things. He's getting off of these corners really well, and that's keeping the 10 car at bay right now.
A little less than 7 laps to go. That's 28 miles. Lots of time left with 14 corners per lap. And we know you got a glimpse of this in NASCAR Nonstop, but look at this, Dale.
Never let off.
And why would he?
No, well, that's exactly right. You can see getting down into turn 5. Look at that wheel hop there. Man, doing all the right things there. That could have been a time that AJ really was able to take advantage of that, get to his inside and beat him up to turn 6, and it'd have been all over probably.
But one of the skills that Christopher Bell has learned is if that car starts a wheel hop, Dale, how to correct it. And how do you do that?
Well, one of the best, and one that Borsett taught me, is you just kick the clutch in for just a split second, and it'll take that away because you've taken the power away from it. So it's just something that you have to be ready to do as a driver. Not sure that's what Christopher Bell did, but he handled it perfectly. Now he's starting to put a little bit of a gap.
And if you kept your foot on that brake and just kept it mashed, it would just spin out, right?
It's going to spin out. Yeah, it's going to eventually just come around. Or you just have to slow it down so much you lose all your momentum.
He's got it going now momentum-wise. Allmendinger now 4 car lengths back of Christopher Bell.
Yeah, we talk about the one thing that good road racers do. They have their car set up. They understand that getting off the corner, that keeps you a distance and that car from gaining on you by being able to exit the corner really good. Christopher Bell's doing an outstanding job of that.
Christopher may be channeling his inner Boris. We did see him at the track this weekend, Dale.
Yes, we did. Turning really, really good laps.
3rd, 4th, and 5th just flashing by. They don't have anything for the front 2 at this point. Keeping their eye on him. Austin Cindric in that black and yellow car in 3rd place. These guys get to tussling up front.
Oh, yeah. Anything can happen from here. So that whole top 5 or 6, they're still in there. Noah Gragson back there in 6th. What a great job he's done. We've seen him off course earlier in the race and doing a lot of exciting things. But he's got everything woe down and got himself in a really good spot here today.
I had a speeding penalty too, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So he's got the 9 back where he wants it to be, in a good road course racer. Won in the K&N Pro Series earlier this year out at Sonoma.
Coming to that one trouble spot that it seems that Christopher Bell has, if he has one around here. Handles it very well there.
Allmendinger had it tightened up on the entry. Christopher with good drive off. See that damage on the right front there?
Yeah.
Allmendinger's car.
Yeah, maybe making AJ's car a little bit tight. The front end not doing exactly what he's looking for it to do. This is where Christopher Bell's really good too.
Right after he makes this left, the long right-hander. Let's watch the artist at work here.
Yeah, you can see he gets a really good run off the corner, puts a little bit of gap. You see AJ close in just a little bit. Christopher Bell able to stand in the throttle on the exit of the carousel here.
That car looks like it's sideways, Dale, is it?
Heck yeah, it's sideways.
Look at that run off the corner through the kink now for Christopher Bell.
Wow. He's just from turn, after he gets off of turn 6 and through that, getting through the kink, he just is really a little bit better than AJ's car is right now.
Bell trying to win for the first time on a road course. The oval victories have come for him. The championship run is in place. He will score well into the playoffs with his playoff points. We'll see what he can do in the final laps here at Road America. Being chased by one of the best road course racers in the world. Can Bell hold off Allmendinger? We'll find out. In NASCAR nonstop, you saw the field tightening caution that will make this restart very, very interesting. Kind of the things we live for here, DJ.
Yeah, you kind of had to know that with all the hard racing that was going on.
Very strange. Running behind Ryan Sieg, Greg Gaulding hits the brakes. The car goes out of control, crosses back across the bow of Sieg, and now he's just trying to get it stopped before he hits the tire barrier, which he does at the end, ever so gently. And Gray was running strong. It was a good day for the 08 team.
I don't know if he had a mechanical issue there, something with the brake that didn't allow him, or if Ryan Sieg might have slowed down and surprised him by slowing that quickly, and then he just jumped on the brakes too hard.
That was bizarre. Has it rolling now, and he'll rejoin the field.
Well, not what Christopher Bell wanted to see. He had pulled out to a little over a second lead on A.J. Allmendinger.
Parker, what are you thinking?
Well, guys, there's an interesting thing that's happening here. The 22 car of Austin Cindric there in third has another set of tires. So do you give up that track position they're in right now to put on that set of tires? I know it'll only be a couple laps, but a 4-mile lap and being almost 4 seconds lap faster on those new tires, it could be a decision for this 22 team as you see them getting ready on the wall to make that decision. Also, who has an extra set of tires? Michael Annett, who's back in 13th. He had saved a set as well. So both these teams might elect to put on those new rubber and see how far they can drive forward, and especially if we get a couple restarts here.
All right, Dale, pros and cons.
Well, they'd have to have 2 or 3 more situations to where we have accidents and have more cautions for that to even begin to work, because we have 27 cars on the lead lap here right now. But they have wins. They don't have anything to lose, really. But do you leave your driver up there in a position, because we know how hard A.J. Allmendinger is going to battle Christopher Bell.
That's right.
Austin Cindric sitting there, even though his car's not very good right now, because he was getting beat by 8 or 9 tenths of a second a lap. But could he take advantage of a situation between the 2 cars up front having a little contact?
Might swing the door wide open for the driver of the 22. You saw Cole Custer swing by as the free pass car. That'll mean 28 now on the lead lap. Let's go down to Heather.
Catching up now with crew chief for the 11, Alex Yance. Alex, I haven't heard a lot over the radio from AJ. At times it seems like he might have been a little frustrated, like he might be trying too hard, but what are you telling him to remain calm out there?
Oh, like I told him earlier, I mean, you are the man. You know, that's why you're here. We have 100% confidence in you, and we would have we couldn't pick a better driver in our race car right now. So we're just trying to keep him calm. You know, obviously he's giving it everything he's got. We started off really well. We lost a little bit of balance. This last run's been better, but you know, that 20's just been so fast all day, and they're about equal. You know, one of them will make a little mistake and gain, and it's just, you know, it's just really hard to make up any time with a driver like Christopher Bell. But you know, AJ's doing an amazing job. We couldn't be happier to have him in our car.
You mentioned the 20 being fast, but this is the first time you're going to restart right next to him. What do you guys think you have for him, and what's the strategy to get around him?
Well, that's what we were just talking about. You know, we felt like we kind of run him down, but we hadn't had a chance to actually restart with him since the start of the race. So hopefully these cold tires will bring our CTECH Chevrolet alive here, and we'll see what we got.
Well, guys, 100% belief in their driver there. We'll see what the 10 can do on this restart. Dave?
And Heather Colleague Racing believes in Alex Yance. They see a future for him on top of the pit box, and he's called a good race today. Former driver, by the way, so he knows that side of it as well, DJ.
Yeah, that's always good. You know, we have a number of those in the Cup Series, that former drivers, and they do an outstanding job being the crew chief now and seeing the race from a different perspective, and seem to help their drivers, and that communication is always great.
So when they cross the start-finish line this time, it'll be a full 12 miles plus to go. Everyone should have enough fuel. Possibly the 22 to get some fresh tires. Maybe Michael Annett, but again, with the number of cars on the lead lap, it makes that decision kind of dicey.
Yeah, look at that top 10. It's really like nobody has anything to lose there whatsoever in any decision that they make, whether it's going all out for it. The ones that are there, that are up there that are going to get in on points, they've got a big enough cushion that's perfectly fine. Others have wins. Others that are here doing nothing else. Kaz Gralla up there, he's not looking for anything but a win, along with DiBenedetto and A.J. Allmendinger. So this should be a lot of fun to watch.
Greg Gaulding there on pit road. The reason for the most recent caution, a bizarre incident heading down into turn number 1. Looks like he could have had a mechanical, or car in front of him may have been slowed dramatically. Don't know. Ray's going to try to get back out there and complete the race. And the lights are still on top of the pace car, on top of the pace car. So until those go off, they're not racing.
22.
And
they're going to roll the dice.
Yeah, that's right.
See what happens. And they really have nothing to lose. Yeah, like I say, other than a situation of saying, okay, we'll put it in your hands up front, see what the 10 and the 20, how aggressive they get with each other. If they get side by side and off the course just a little bit, you can take advantage of that. But
you'd be
this
banking
is
on an unknown, right?
Yeah.
Banking on an unknown. This is a very well known for them. Good set of fresh Goodyear tires. Give you a driver a lot more speed out there, Parker.
Right, and I think they all would hope there would be more laps for this strategy to work out the way they really wanted to. Also pitting was the one of Michael Annett. He has that extra set because they saved it as well by not taking tires in the first 2 stages. And then on the right side of your screen, you see Austin Cindric, who pits out a third. It's going to be those 4 Goodyear tires. No adjustments on this car, and filling with some Sunoco fuel as well. We'll see if this pays off and how far he can get to the field. He's probably going to want a couple of those restarts.
We'll step away. We'll be back to see how it works out for Austin Cindric, Michael Annett with those fresh tires here at Road America. Next weekend, it's Darlington. Don't want to miss Throwback Weekend, especially the Cup Series race on Sunday evening on NBCSN. That's 6 Eastern. Check out every new paint scheme that is an old paint scheme. We'll break it all down for you as they race. One of the trickiest tracks, and we talk about the treachery of the road course here, Dale. You got to be careful at Darlington, too.
Oh, my gosh. You find yourself in trouble at any point in time. 500 miles. Starting in the daylight, going into the dark. A lot of changes, a lot of fun to watch. It's fun to drive.
It's fun to drive too.
It is really one of the most challenging and fun races you'll ever run.
I've done some fun ride-alongs in the right seat of a race car. Not done one at Darlington. That might be.
Well, that would be crazy.
Put that on my list.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, dummy. Christopher Bell is the leader of the race. 20 car right behind the red pace car there. And he's not going to have too much time to deal with Allmendinger, Reddick, Briscoe, and Gregson. Coming to 2 to go right here, Dale.
Yeah, but it's, gosh, you think about it as a driver, think about, okay, it's only going to have a couple of laps to get it done, but you think about each of those laps is 4 miles long.
So what's turn 1 going to look like here, Dale? What do you think? Allmendinger doesn't get quite the jump because he's not supposed to go before Christopher Bell, so Bell gets a teeny advantage right there.
Yeah, and Christopher's been good on that, but they're on older tires here, tires that are hotter, that have cooled off now, so how can he get up to speed? But AJ's going to dive off into turn 1 as hard as he possibly can.
Last restart, Bell to the left, had Cindric to his side. Briscoe with a quick look at Garrett Smithley. Smithley wasn't able to maintain pace there, fell back through the field a little bit, but Allmendinger laid back a little bit to the right here. He saw all that action in front of him.
You can see right there whenever Austin Cindric, he kind of kept Christopher Bell pinned down there, and Bell wasn't able to power up as good as he needed to. Can't let A.J. Allmendinger get out front here. He doesn't have enough time to really make a move to get back to him.
Exactly right.
He's going to need his best restart.
Get it, hold it, keep it.
And if they both try to get in there a little bit too hard, you've got Tyler Reddick sitting there along with Chase Briscoe waiting to take advantage of any mistake they might make.
AJ getting the tires hot in the white 10 car there. Bell can see that. What kind of restart games will he play with him here? There's a restart zone. That's where Bell needs to fire off. It's up to him. He's what they call the control car. And it's his field to start. Will it be the last start? Will it be the final laps at Road America, or will we have overtime this afternoon? We're about to find out. They get to the restart zone. Christopher Bell getting ready to apply the gas in the red area to the right of himself. There it is. Bell's on it. Here comes Allmendinger. Not a good start. Reddick in the 2. He'll take over second.
What a great start by Christopher Bell there.
And Noah Gregson's going to challenge A.J. Allmendinger for third. Boy, they're 2 and 3 wide further back there. Allmendinger trying to hang on. Gregson with wiggle. Oh, he gets into Allmendinger. The 10 is spinning. Through the banners, he keeps it straight. And Allmendinger will rejoin the race, but well back in the pack. And disaster, well, now he gets a little nerf from the 22 of Cindric coming through there.
Yeah, Christopher Bell just want everybody to play nice right now. Don't have anyone off.
So Reddick in second, Gregson in third. Here comes Matt DiBenedetto trying to take fourth from Briscoe. He will get it and he clears. Briscoe back to fifth, then Kaz Gralla with a little bit of trouble right there. Oh, and they all get bottled up. Jeremy Clements gets into the red 7 of Allgaier.
Allgaier done a great job getting himself back inside the top 10 after the troubles he had had. Loses a couple of spots there, though.
And Ryan Ellis running in the top 10 there. He was battling. Meanwhile, Christopher Bell trying to leg it out now, DJ.
Yeah, this has been his best part of the track right here. See if he can put a little bit more separation. Really, the only thing to keep him from winning here right now is something like this happening and a caution coming out.
Allmendinger involved again. This is heading to the carousel. Everyone seems to have their cars righted.
Staying green.
Damage to the 10 car. He's well back now. Back to 16th is Allmendinger.
Yeah, just got off, just did not get up to speed on that restart. And that got him in a bad situation that turned even worse.
So AJ is out of it unless the caution comes out, and they go to overtime here.
Christopher Bell's got one more corner, turn 14 to make it through, and then up to the start-finish line.
Reddick, Gregson, and DiBenedetto. Boy, that 18 car looks good. He's going to look to the side of Noah Gregson. The leader crosses the stripe. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One. And DiBenedetto will take third from Gregson.
Yeah, he's got his sights set on Tyler Reddick there in that second spot in that 2 car, who's got some damage in the front of his car also.
Christopher Bell trying to wheel away from second, third, fourth right here.
Bell's going to be coming up on the one spot that's giving him the most trouble, whether it was practice yesterday or the race today a couple of times where he's got down in a little bit too high. He's got a nice little cushion to work with here now, though.
Long straightaway, doesn't have to dive on it hard. No wheel hop, no lockup for Christopher Bell. Tyler Reddick in the blue and white 2, hoping for just 1 or 2 mistakes out of Christopher Bell to give him a chance, but he's not that close. Bell's car has been outstanding all day long. He's had to fight for position on track. He's had to use the bumper.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to be too careful right here. You don't want to give that 2-car Tyler Reddick the opportunity. Oh, he goes way too wide, though.
Reddick now going to get that challenge from DiBenedetto. Bell making it through the best part of the course for him.
And that second spot has changed hands to Benedetto now into second.
Look who's in fourth. Austin Cindric now trying to take third from Reddick. All the way back through the field is Austin Cindric. Doesn't look like he's going to have enough time. 3 corners to go.
Wow, he restarted 20th, Dave.
Austin Cindric can see leader Christopher Bell. All he needs is a little bit more time. But Bell perfect through Canada corner. Through turn 13, final corner for Christopher Bell. 63 starts, 13 wins for the driver from Oklahoma. Now looking for the checkered flag as there is a car off behind him.
I think that might be the 18.
Win number 6 for Christopher Bell, and it's going to come at Road America.
Thank you guys. Great job. Great race car.
And Matt DiBenedetto was the car off in the final corner. But jubilation on the team car of the 20. His first road course win. Now we have to wonder if he'll put himself in the category of guys that got this.
Pretty impressive there. About the 20 and 22, all 3 road courses, they finished first and second.
And Cindric, no doubt, is going to go give him a little congratulations. And oh, what could have been for DiBenedetto. Coming forward in the final laps, making a couple of passes, and ends up in the sand trap in the final corner. Christopher Bell had a, see a little trouble there for Loris Hasemans. Contact throughout the day there. Bell had a tradition with his family of having mom make nachos every night before they would race. Something he remembers well. He may have to change that to brats, DJ.
Whatever he had, it sure worked here. Just an outstanding drive today. We talked about it at the beginning of the race, just having to kind of nurse the car through the first 8 laps as it turned out before they came to pit road. Jason Ratcliffe doing a nice job of calling his driver in a little bit before while they could still get on pit road, get that set of tires off of there, and then Christopher Bell did the rest. Really good strategy for them with a really good car and driver.
May not be the last set of donuts he does for the fans here and for the corner workers. A lot of volunteers make things happen at Road America and all the road courses. The expansiveness of these layouts require that you have human eyes on a lot of different corners, and most of them are just folks that either love racing or they're first responders with a weekend and an ability to use a fire bottle if they need it. Didn't need a fire bottle here, but they'll have to tow out the 18 car after a disappointing finish for Matt DiBenedetto.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we have a shot of it, if there was a little contact between the 22 and the 18 at the end there.
They're both going for it for sure. And no one able to rise above the big 3 today. Bell holding that torch for them. Ryan Ellis's car, the red, white, and blue car. Nice run for him today. Found himself in the top 10, dropped back out of the top 20. But on that final restart was in the mix.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And it was a mix through that whole thing. A lot happened. Justin Allgaier and Cole Custer, both who had troubles all day long, finishing 9th and 10th in this race.
How about that?
Jeremy Clemens with another top 10 on the road course.
Here you go, Canada corner. This one's for you. While Christopher Bell continues to entertain and thank everyone after his victory here today, we'll step away. We'll get back to Victory Lane where we'll talk to him and the other top finishers today at Road America. What was impressive about Bell's win today? Well, primarily the drivers he held off on different occasions who have done much more of this. Let's watch him step out and say hey to the crowd. Yeah, it's me, Road America. I'm a road course winner.
Yes, he is.
USAC midget champion, started on micro sprints. So much dirt racing in his background. Car control, never a problem for Christopher. Ovals, really something he picked up fairly quick. I think it was the rhythm and just the difference, DJ, that there is in road course racing that made him think to himself, I'm not that good at it, even though his results show differently.
Yeah, we kept seeing the improvement every single race of getting better. He found himself in the top 10, then the top 5, and then a couple of seconds coming in here, racing Austin Cindric to the end of those races, and just doing a really good job. And now to come to one of the most famous road courses in America and doing the job, getting it all done, just very impressive.
And I remember one of the things that his crew chief, Jason Ratcliffe, said was last year we were really getting Christopher comfortable on the road courses. We really couldn't tune our race car to be the fastest car because that would have been detrimental. This year, they're working on the race car too, and it's paying off.
Yeah.
So on this restart, Allmendinger didn't get a good jump. This was the final restart.
Yeah, see, Bell waited a little bit later into that little restart zone that they had there, and it looked like AJ tried to power up, and I don't know if it spun the tires there or if the engine just didn't cooperate there and get going, but that certainly started kind of brought the end to
the beginning
AJ.
Of the end.
Yeah, it just couldn't get going there, and then the contact right here with Noah Gragson.
Takes him through the grass, through the banners, and then back on track, but already out of contention for the win here. So that's what happened to AJ. There you see the 22 of Cindric.
Yeah.
This is when his run began.
Yeah, he was back in 20th. You saw him have to slow down right there for that. Gosh, he might have been even closer if it wouldn't have been for that.
Another look at what happened to AJ.
Those two drivers racing hard and just kind of out of control with just less than 2 laps to go in the race.
Mm-hmm. So Austin Cindric came all the way back from 20th to finish 2nd, Heather.
An impressive run there by Austin, Dave. How were you able to get that done? You guys made the call to go to stickers, started 20th, here you are in 2nd. Do you think at any point you had a chance to get the win as well?
We talked about a 5 to go plan. That was like a green, white, checkered, and I wasn't 100% confident, but at the same time, we were battling a lot of wheel hop after, 4 or 5 laps on tires, and we had a lot more than that on tires. And those guys are in this kind of racing, you pretty much know you're going to get used up if you're slower. So we want to go on offense, and that was our strategy all day. And we probably just need 1 or 2 laps to get this Menards Richmond Ford Mustang in victory lane. But all in all, good day, good points. P2, it's all right.
It was a wild race there. Tell us from what you saw from coming up through the field on that final restart.
Chaos. I mean, I passed a lot of cars that just ended up overdriving corners and missing corners, and it was chaos. It was insane. I think it's why all these people show up at Road America and enjoy this type of racing, because you never know what you're going to get. It always comes down to those, last lap dashes to the finish, and I'm glad to be able to put on a show at a place like this.
And did you see what happened to the 18 there on that last turn?
Yeah, he got loose and went off track. It's unfortunate for him. Obviously, he had a great day. It was one of the cars to beat, but yeah, he just either got wheel hop or got loose over the bump on entry, and yeah, just slipped off the track.
Well, that's Austin Dillon, able to survive the chaos there at the end to bring it home P2.
Heather, thanks for that. You see the 18 roll by on the hook, and appreciate that eyewitness account from Austin Cindric, as Matt DiBenedetto fell on the final corner before coming to the start-finish line. So the 20-year-old with a couple of wins in his pockets goes to the playoffs. Meanwhile, this driver, for the first time in a road course, Parker, is in victory lane.
That he is, Dave, and you can see how excited he was. I mean, he celebrated all over this 4-mile racetrack. Wasn't a part untouched from a burnout from Steve Bell. You excited?
Road course,
I
buddy.
know. How about it?
Man, I just, I'm honestly in shock. They,
Hello. Girlfriend, hug with her, kiss.
So, man, I really butchered qualifying and tore the crap out of that left front, and I felt like once we got in the race there that I'd be able to drive by those guys, and they dropped the green flag and they're driving by me. So that wasn't very much fun, and then I told Jason, man, I'm just really, really tight. And we got those tires off, and he said that the left front was hurt pretty bad. And then we got pretty good there when we put our fresh set of tires on. So the strategy obviously worked out really good for us pitting there, and then the yellow coming out. But this Rude Supra was really, really fast today, and we've had a great road course season. So I'm really honored to be a part of Joe Gibbs Racing, and to get my first road course win is really special.
And I want to talk about that because, you know, I know it's been a journey for you on the road course. I want to ask, you know, how that journey has been, but also you say you're not that good. You have 2 second-place finishes, now a win at road courses.
I guess I just get lucky on these things, that's for sure. But, man, I'm really heartbroken for Matt DiBenedetto, too. He was obviously really, really fast, and we knew from practice that both of our cars were going to be really good and we're going to be right there racing with each other. So I don't really know exactly what happened, but I saw him go flying off of 14. So, man, that sucks. You know, he's in a tough spot right now, and he needed a good run there.
Is this the last bit of your driving arsenal you need to check to say, all right, I feel like a complete driver in the NASCAR Xfinity Series?
Man, speedway racing is a struggle for me, but I'll take that if I can go road course racing. And I got to really give a big thank you to Rude, Ream, all of our partners at Toyota Racing Development, all the fans that tuned in today, and all the partners at Xfinity that put on this series. It's an honor to be racing in the Xfinity Series, and these cars are so much fun to drive. Luckily, I get to drive one of the best ones in the field.
You can tell the excitement he has for getting that first road course racing win. Heather?
Well, Parker, A.J. Allmendinger unable to avoid the chaos there on that final restart. Can you walk us through what happened?
Yeah, I mean, I knew Christopher was going to be tough. He's doing a great job, and those Joe Gibbs cars are quite fast. So I was trying to do everything I could to clean the tires off and try to time the start, and I just spun the tires so bad, and then I knew I was in trouble because he'd got such a launch, so I tried to short shift a second. When it did, it rejected the gear, so I had a momentary of being in neutral. So the whole restart was pretty messed up on my part from there, and then from there, I don't know, I think the 9 car tried to lean on me off of turn 1 and like not let me back on the racetrack, and I had to move over, and when he did, he just turned hard left and got us. So it is what it is. It's fine. Congrats to Christopher. I mean, he's become a long way as a road course driver, and we already know what he can do on the oval. So it's going to be the Cup Series is going to be in trouble when he gets there because he's going to be pretty awesome at it. But so proud of all the Colleague Racing guys and Matt Colleague and everybody. Wish we could have got the win. We're making progress. We're getting closer, but you know, disappointing way to end a good day.
Your crew chief, Alex Yant, said you're the man for the job. They have such belief in you, this team behind you. What does that mean to have that type of support?
It means a lot. It just I wish I could get it done for him. You know, it's we've gotten close, and I was trying so hard that last run there to try Christopher, and he was just starting to stretch on me a little bit. So doing everything I can. You know, it's such a great team, and as I said, it starts with Matt Colleague, Chris Rice, and on down the line. So it's a pleasure driving for him. I just wish I could get him a win.
Tough ending to the race there for A.J. Allmendinger. Parker?
Right, and one driver he's helped a lot over the road course season is Tyler Reddick, who finished 3rd. Tyler, take me through that last restart, the chaos there, trying to avoid guys and getting into 3rd position.
Well, I don't know what happened to AJ. It's unfortunate, but it put me in the perfect spot to go after the 20, and I just didn't capitalize on the situation, unfortunately. I kind of let him get a little bit too far away to really disrupt him and try and, you know, interfere with his line and everything and just keep him on his toes. Just coming to the white, missed a shift the first time all day, and then just let the 18 get closer, and then from there I just made a lot of mistakes on the last lap, unfortunately, and took us kind of out of range to try and just do something with the 20. But is what it is. To come home 3rd is kind of shocking. I wouldn't have expected it after how much I struggled here in last year, so it's cool to get that finish in a rolling Chevrolet. And you know, we'll just build on it and go to the Roval, and I'm feeling pretty good about.
And it's your 3rd top 5 on a road course. I mean, coming into these races, you felt like maybe you weren't up to par on the road courses, but it's starting to look like you're really figuring it out.
Yeah, just repetition's been helping me a lot, and you know, last year being my first time really getting a stretch of road course races. I had a lot to learn really quickly, and this year it's been a little bit smoother, and I've just been able to work on the little things that make you more consistent and help your lap time, and so it's been nice, but definitely wish I could have got that last restart back.
Getting the reps, and what's that last restart, guys?
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Easy to do in racing, and Tyler drove another great race today at Road America. Playoff leaderboard looks like this now, and the top 7 have clinched their way in. You can see with the gold there, Justin Allgaier does that today. Everyone else on those wins.
Yeah, and we'll get a couple of more there. You see Noah Gregson with a nice plus 265 there, and Justin Haley over 200 points. So they'll continue to work their way towards being a part of the playoffs. And Ryan Sieg and Brandon Jones working their way towards being in the playoffs also.
That's how it looks from Road America. Christopher Bell, it was his day. Driver of the 20, his first road course race win in his career. And by the way, Toyota, first win for them at Road America, as well as Joe Gibbs Racing. A lot of celebration, more to be done by that young man from Oklahoma.
It is a 180-mile-an-hour historical pageant of legendary cars, hot shoe drivers, and beauty queens. It is a one-of-a-kind, last-of-its-kind living throwback to the great age of racing.
He'll add his name to the legends that have won at Darlington.
It was and is the real thing, brother.
I love that line, a living throwback. Call a racetrack that when it's Darlington. Next Sunday, 6 o'clock on NBCSN, you will see what's going on with all the paint schemes, all the get-ups, if you will. 24 of William Byron will look like Days of Thunder. 32 of Corey LaJoie will look a lot like a Nestle Crunch Pontiac.
Yeah, it takes me back, 1990-91 in the Xfinity Series.
And of course, the Xfinity Series will be involved in throwbacks. They always love to jump in. Dale Jr.'s may be the most photographed one of the weekend.
Yeah, no doubt. What a good-looking car. Be fun to watch it on the track, and hopefully Dale Jr. behind the wheel.
Get a tomato sandwich made out of that too, right?
Nice.
So the points, as we look at the Monster Energy Series, you see the cutoff line down there. That red line is just bothering Clint Boyer and Daniel Suarez, Ryan Newman and Jimmy Johnson. Pretty far out of it here with 2 races to go, Dale. It's going to take possibly a win out of those guys.
Yeah, it could possibly take that, but there are stage points. If you can have a good qualifying, Jimmy Johnson, if he can qualify inside the top 10, run up in there in that first stage and start off getting points there, and just start a day to where he doesn't, or a night that doesn't have any issues, then you never know what you can do. He's got 2 races to get it done. He's a 7-time champion and knows how to get the job done when it really matters.
That'll be next Sunday from Darlington. Here at Road America today, a nice top 5 finish for Kaz Grala, Parker.
Right, Dave. It's his 5th start of the year. You get a top 5. It's your last scheduled start this year. What does that mean to you to get that top 5?
It means a lot. I mean, this hopefully will go a long way for helping me get the funding together for another race or 2 this year. But I'm just so proud of the Hot Scream 21 team today. We had a miscue on pit road, unfortunately, about midway through the race. I just went a little bit before the jack drop. So that hurt our track position. But to bounce back and get a top 5 is pretty exciting for us. The only bittersweet part is there was a point in the race where I think we were better than the 20 car, and he went on to win the race. So I think had we kept the track position, we would have been right up there battling for the win. But nonetheless, a top 5 goes a long way for me, especially as a part-timer out here. So really proud of everyone at RCR. It's been a really fun season for me so far with them, and maybe I'll get something else together for this year. I'm hoping so.
How do you put that in the notebook and process it and make sure not to make that mistake next time?
Well, I mean, honestly, I think with limited starts, I got a little bit excited in the pit lane. We were running really good and had a great car, so I just flinched a bit too early. So I'll keep that in the memory bank for next time. But I did this race last year and learned a lot in it. Made some mistakes in it last year, and that really helped me for this year. So we'll just write this one down as another page in the notebook and hopefully be better going forward.
And as you guys can understand, just get a little excited there in pit lane.
Yeah, it can happen, can't it, DJ?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he had a great car and did an outstanding job all day. Good finish for Cass.
Late tonight, make sure you catch the Lucas Oil Motocross Ironman National on NBCSN. And don't forget, before that, IndyCar racing from Gateway. Coming up just after us, Racing Roots with Denny Hamlin. Here's a sneak peek.
Baddest thing around, right there.
I ran my first race, won, kept going and kept going. I mean, I knew Checkered was good.
Oh, look at this, yes. Oh, Denny to the inside.
Here we are. This represents the rear gear that was on the go-kart.
I'm very proud of him. Yeah. He's like my son.
I was trying to give him his dream, but I tried every way I could to make sure he at least got a shot at it.
Yeah.
Checkered flag waving at the start-finish line. Who will get there first?
Denny Hamlin has won the 61st edition of the Daytona 500. Are you kidding me?
You may think you know Denny Hamlin's story. Well, stay tuned. You're going to get all the details on Racing Roots coming up after this show. So one driver led the most laps today, didn't make it to the finish line, Heather.
That's right, heartbreak today for Matt DiBenedetto. Matt, you lost it there on the final turn, running second. What happened?
Just being stupid on my part. Was looking in my mirror and got too high and just barely got up in the marbles and made the most rookie mistake of my life. It was dumb. It's uncalled for. So we had fastest car on track, nothing to show for it. Lost spots on pit road there, which you win and lose as a team. Then trying to play catch up, just making too many mistakes, and yeah, that was it. It was just we, self-inflicted, ruined our day, and could have won, and we had the fastest car and nothing to show for it. And so, yeah, I drove stupid. I'm pretty pissed off at myself, and nothing else. So won't sleep all week. And this isn't exactly good when I'm trying to make my career, and then just trying to play catch up, and it was dumb.
Very frustrated Matt DiBenedetto. Parker?
Heather, and a driver that was involved in a little bit of incident there in the final restart, Noah Gregson. What happened between you and AJ Allmendinger coming off turn 2?
Yeah, we were door to door, side by side, and he outbroke me getting into the corner, and then I don't know, I haven't seen it yet, but from what I remember, we were hitting each other just behind on the wheel, and I accidentally got into his quarter panel, and sucks. We're racing hard, and there's really no room for error there. So just made a mistake, and I don't know, it's green, white, checkered. You got to get all you can get. So just thankful for everyone at Junior Motorsports. They've been doing everything they can to get these cars to the racetrack, and we'll move on, top 5.
You can understand that, guys.
You can indeed, Dale, and you can understand the disappointment of Matt DiBenedetto, too.
Oh, absolutely, and those things happen. We've all done it, but he's still, that doesn't take away from the amount of talent that he has.
Thanks so much for joining us here today at Road America. Thanks to all of our crew and the hardworking group that we have here at NBC. Racing Roots is next with Denny Hamlin. We'll see you next time. Today's winner, Christopher Bell.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.